Hi everyone, this is Donny Lowy from Closeout a wholesale business in New York. I have many customers from Nigeria, and I'd like to invite you to come to the warehouse, whether you are a store owner in Nigeria or you're a Nigerian living outside of Nigeria looking to sell clothing or other merchandise in Nigeria. I think you're going to find this video very entertaining and very informative. So the video is about retailing in Nigeria. As you know, Nigeria has a very vibrant retail industry. Especially the fashion sector is very strong. The economy of Nigeria has actually been doing very well year over year. Recently, it's had its challenges. And of course, with the price of oil being so low, that impacts Nigeria since oil is a major export product for Nigeria. But still, Nigeria has a very vibrant retail sector. And as I mentioned, especially in the fashion world. Now, Nigerians are very fashionable and they love internationally recognized brands. They love brand names like Tahari, Jones New York, Casper, Nine West, Anne Klein, Polo Ralph Lauren. So if you are going to sell clothing in Nigeria, you do have two options. You can focus on the higher end of the market, which would mean that you would sell brand name clothing, or you could focus on the lower end of the market, which would be non-branded clothing. And of course, there's a middle road on the market where you're selling some brand names, some private label clothing, some generic label clothing. But I would, recommend that you focus either one or the other. Now, the reason why I think it's better to focus on the upper middle class and in the upper class section of the market in Nigeria is number one, they're the Nigerians who have money. They're the Nigerians who are looking to buy brand name clothing and are willing to spend more money in that brand clothing. And if you look at the lower end of the market, then you're going to be competing with all the Chinese exporters who are flooding the market with clothing that I would not consider very high quality or very high, very fashionable. Now, there is money in that section of the market also, but then keep in mind that you're going to be competing just based on price because all the clothing will be very similar, the quality is not going to be that great, and customers at that end of the market are mostly focused on what the clothing costs them. So if you buy clothing at $1 a piece, and it's non-branded clothing, then you're going to have to try to maybe sell it at a 50% markup or a 100% markup. And depending on the competition that you have from the Chinese manufacturers, you might or might not even be able to sell it for more than what you paid for it. On the other hand, if you specialize in brand name clothing, you're not going to be competing with all the generic clothing that's flooding in from China. And at the same time, you're going to be catering towards customers who have a willingness and an understanding that they need to pay more for that clothing. Now, within the brand name section of the market, I would recommend that you focus on women's clothing such as women's suits. Men's dress shirts also are really popular. Brands like Kenneth Cole, Jeffrey Bean, Van Heusen, those are good brand names. Now, as far as buying clothing, whether you're focusing on brand name dresses, brand name shoes, brand name handbags, brand name men's clothing, so I would recommend that you try to get really good closeout deals. This way you'll be able to compete with other retailers and with the brands themselves if they're bringing in their latest merchandise into Nigeria. The way that you do that is by looking for either department store overstock or excess merchandise from the brands. If you come to my warehouse in New York, I can offer you both. I can offer you excess merchandise from the brands. I can give you department store overstock. Department store overstock is basically merchandise that was sold by the department store in a previous season, then they clear it out, or they just simply have too much of that merchandise, but it's going to primarily be brand name. I'm able to give it to you at a below the regular wholesale price or very close to the wholesale price, but you will pay a very low price as compared to the original retail price. And as far as knowing what kind of merchandise to select, I have a lot of experience in selling to customers from Nigeria, so I can make a selection for you, or you're welcome to visit the warehouse. You could make your own selection in the warehouse, you could send someone on your behalf, or you can purchase an assorted lot online. If you have any questions or comments, please call or email me. My phone number is 718-389-5502. Have a great day.